Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on which part of the globe you are joining us from. Welcome to the next episode of AWS on Air, and we are in the second week of reInvent 2020. And I'm very sure that you all are gaining some good insights into various services and enjoying the deep dive breakout sessions and having lots of fun and connections across many people across the globe. I'm Suman Devnath, a principal developer advocate from AWS, and I majorly focus on machine learning and data analytics. And I'm super excited to have Debu Panda today with me, who is a product manager for Amazon Redshift. Hi, Debu, how are you doing?
Great. Thank you very much. Suman, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, good. So it's a midnight here in India, so it's great to have you, joining us today.
Thank you very much. And
Sure.
welcome everyone who is watching this show to reInvent 2020.
Yeah. Absolutely. So today we are going to talk about one of the new feature that we have launched yesterday, and that is mentioned in Swami's keynote as well, and that is Amazon Redshift for ML, which is the new capability of Amazon Redshift that makes it very easy for any SQL user or SQL developer to use machine learning to make predictions on the data which is stored in the data warehouse. But before we dive deep and look into nuts and bolts of how this particular capability works, let me first ask you, Debu, can you just give us a brief about how our customer can make use of this capability and give some high-level overview of this capability and share some insights about what kind of problem it solves?
Sure. Yesterday we announced Amazon Redshift ML, which is the public preview of Amazon Redshift ML, a new capability in Amazon Redshift that democratizes machine learning to new type of builders, any SQL users such as the database developers and data analysts to use machine learning. With Amazon Redshift ML, which is also powered by Amazon SageMaker, customers can use just simple SQL commands to create and train machine learning models for the data in their Amazon Redshift data warehouse. And they can use this machine learning model directly using again from SQL for doing predictions or inferences for use cases starting from churn prediction to fraud risk scoring in their queries and in their dashboards. Amazon Redshift ML, discovers and tunes the best machine learning model based on the training data that customers provide using Amazon SageMaker Autopilot. And then once the model is ready, it uses SageMaker Neo to compile that model and then deploy the model in Redshift data warehouse. So then customers can use these models for prediction as if they're using a user-defined functions in their SQL queries.
Great. So it's basically, as an end user, as an SQL developer or an SQL user, you don't have to know much about machine learning. In fact, you don't have to know anything about it, right? So you can just do everything just like a normal SQL function query.
Yes. We have tens of thousands of customers who use Amazon Redshift to process exabytes of data per day for their analytics workload. And they have, hundreds of data analysts and database developers who know SQL, but they do not know machine learning tools and technology. So they have very few of them who know machine learning. And these users, the data analysts, the business analysts, the BI professionals, the database developers, they want to use machine learning, to gain insights from their data, such as forecasting their revenue or predicting their customer churn or detecting anomalies. Typically, what they do is that these guys depend on their ML experts, which are very few in organizations, to build and train their models on their behalf, or they invest a lot of time on themselves to learn the new tools and technology to do machine learning. For example, even if they know machine learning, they need to identify the algorithm that is meets for their use case. They have to export the data from Redshift, and then they prepare their training data, and then run their training model outside Redshift, your any machine learning platform like SageMaker. And once the model is trained, whenever they need to do prediction, they have to export their data out, run
Right.
their predictions, and then once the prediction data is there, they load the data into the data warehouse, so that the SQL users can use that prediction data with their queries. So what we have heard from customers, to simplify this process, not only for the data analysts who want to use machine learning, but there are a lot of data scientists and ML experts. They also find this process very iterative, complex, and error prone, and they want this process to be simplified. And that's what we are doing in this machine learning capability, or Redshift ML feature that we announced yesterday.
Right, great. Yeah. So I guess this is quite resonating. And in fact, yesterday after this launch, I was just talking to one of my friend. He's a database engineer, and I just shared this particular new offer, and he was amazed. And he has no idea about machine learning, but he was also curious to know more about how easy it is, and how any database administrator or even SQL engineer can work on it. So it's fantastic. So, having said that, what are the use cases that you feel that our customers can make use of with this new capability? So, which it opens up. What are the new use cases that you have?
Yeah, the customers want to use ML, in their data warehouses to do several use cases that we have been talking about: revenue projection, whether
Mhm.
they want to see whether a sales lead is going to close or not, whether the customer is going to churn after a year, or a few months, whether the customer wants to find out their lifetime value for their customers. They want to give product recommendations. So there are several use cases customer want to use machine learning to improve their business operations, or innovate their service, or their product offering. So I'll just show you how easy uh, to use this feature. So in order to start using this feature, you have to use the Redshift new preview called SQL preview for creating your cluster, but and then create a cluster. But after that, it's very easy for you to use this feature. So let's look at a quick demonstration of
Sure,
the feature.
absolutely. Yeah.
So as you can see here, I'm going to see here, so here is that how to use machine learning with your, you know, um, with your Amazon Redshift ML. So let's, get started. So, okay, let me just do it. Let's get started. So what you see here is that you see my query editor. What I am doing is doing a create model command. Okay, so I'm just going to give a quick name for my create model. I'm creating this in a demo ML schema, and I'm calling it customer churn model. And then I supply the training data by using a query. It's a select statement that I'm giving all the data for my training. You can also give your name of the table there, so you can give the entire table for training, but you want to probably do not want to give the entire table if you have millions or billions of rows. And then what I have given is that I want to predict a specific column. So I am here is that churn is the target that I'm trying to predict. And then the other thing that we discussed about, so this is available as a UDF, or user defined function. So I just provide the function to call the predict function, you know, and then you can specify the type of the problem, but it is not required. If you don't know the problem type, you don't need to provide. And then I specify the IAM role that I want to use and the S3 bucket. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run this query. Okay. So as a developer, if you have privileges to those table, or uh, also have create model command privilege granted by to you as a user, you just run your query, or the create model command, and that is going to use SageMaker Autopilot on the background to create your model. Okay, train your model, find the best model for you, tune the model. It will take 40 minutes, 1 hour, based on the size of your data and your problem type, and you can actually run this model after this model is available to you as a prediction. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to quickly show you how you can use this model for prediction. So as you can see here, my model is still running. It is going to take some time to complete. But while this model is running, I already have another model for prediction. I'm going to use that. So you can use this show model all command, and that tells you all the different machine learning model that is available to you as a user. So this is demo ML, and you see these all the different models that is available to you. Um, if you are an admin, then you will probably see more number of models there. In order to find more details about a specific model, you just do a show model and the name of the model, and you have to prepend the name of your schema, because there might be multiple schemas in your environment. So once you do a show model all, then it will show you when it was created, the model status, the estimated cost, the accuracy score like F1. All those things are available to you as a user. And again, this is based on your training, and it will also have your prediction function name and the parameters those are allowed for your inference. So once you have your model, you can use this from a SQL as if like a UDF. Like if you see here, I have a demo ML in the schema, this predict customer churn function. What I'm doing here is that I am trying to find out which are the accounts which are going to churn, and I've provided them the actual all the details about the average and now I'm trying to find out all the things in 408 area code. Okay, so then you see this prediction right away here. So this kind of gives you a very quick way to use machine learning um, to your database with just SQL command. And if you are a data scientist, then we provide you other ability. Like for example, you can, when you create your model, you can specify your model type, like for example, you can specify the algorithm as XGBoost. You can provide your preprocessor and hyperparameters for tuning. So we provide ability to both data scientists and data analysts to use machine learning directly from Amazon Redshift using SQL. That was a quick demo.
Awesome, awesome, excellent. So while you were showing this, I never felt that, even I need to know a lot about machine learning, because I've been working on machine learning for quite some time, and uh, before even come to training part, we have to spend a lot of time for cleaning and munging, doing feature engineering on the data set. And here it's just, we have to just show Redshift where our data store is, and we can just create a model using a simple SQL query, like create model SQL command. So it's amazing. And I see that there are lots of use cases. You just shown a customer churn prediction, but we can do things like fraud detection or customer lifetime value prediction, and they
Mhm.
all are capturing different algorithms. And you rightly mentioned that even a data scientist can identify and mention their algorithm of their choice to to go more deep and make something like little custom, right? Not generic. So that's great. So what do you feel like? This is, you mentioned that this is in preview. So what is planned for the GA? Do you want to give some insights to our customers?
Yeah, sure. The preview includes a way to create your model and use those models for prediction with SQL. And we'll work with customers to take their feedback and to improve this feature continually before we make it generally available. However, we have several plans based on our initial discussion with several customers. We will support even more algorithms when we whatever we have today when we go GA. And also what we plan to do is that plan to support bring your own model by providing ability to perform prediction using a remote SageMaker endpoint. Assume that you have a data scientist, you have your own custom model that you have created and deployed with SageMaker endpoint. You'll be able to leverage that uh, endpoint by invoking prediction functions directly from SQL. And that will enable you to leverage the full capabilities of Amazon SageMaker with the convenience of SQL in your Amazon Redshift data warehouse. And you will be able to bring your own custom model that is relevant to your use cases, such as like deep learning, like TensorFlow model, and also possibly integrate to with other vertical services to do sentiment analysis and then do personalization kind of use cases. We also plan to provide an improved way to control your cost for model training and enable you to reduce your training cost by providing your different mechanism what exists today with the preview.
Excellent. So I guess it's amazing to witness and experience that how we are seeing the SageMaker integration with many of our other services, and it's getting easier and easier for our customers, especially for database and analytic services, to make use of machine learning using their existing tools. Last reInvent, we integrated SageMaker and various other AI services like Comprehend with Aurora, and this year it's Redshift. So it's amazing. So one last thing before we close off is, would you like to share something about the scale that it can work? Because Redshift is all about scale, and we can store petabytes and zettabytes of data. So can you just share something about the scale and the pricing model to all our viewers?
Yeah, sure. The prediction function actually takes benefits of performance and scalability feature such as massively parallel processing capabilities in Amazon Redshift, because the actual model gets compiled by Neo and then gets executed inside Redshift as if is a user defined function. Okay. um, and as an admin, you'll be able to control any kind of resources for machine learning predictions using the workload management capability that we have in Redshift. So it is the prediction function is as native it could be to Redshift, and then you'll be able to take all the benefits from Redshift. So Amazon Redshift ML, as I told earlier, leverages your existing cluster resources for prediction. So you avoid any additional Amazon Redshift charges. So there is no additional Amazon Redshift charge for creating or using a model, as prediction happens locally in Amazon Redshift cluster. So you don't have to pay anything extra unless you need to resize your cluster because you're doing a lot of machine learning. However, when you create a model, the create model command uses SageMaker for model training, and it also leverages Amazon S3 on the back end for storage of your training data, and it incurs additional expenses. The cost depends on the number of cells in your training data, where the number of cells is nothing but the product of the number of records in your training query times the number of columns in your training query. For example, the select query of the create model has, let's say 10,000 rows, okay, and you had selected 5 columns in your query, so the number of cells is 50,000. So you can control your cost by setting the max cells, parameter when you do a create model command. And if you don't, the default value of the max cells is 1 million. You know, if the training data produced by your select query, or in the create model exceeds the max cells that you specified, for example, let's say if you have not that 1 million, then the create model randomly chooses, approximately max cells divided by the number of columns of records from the training data set and trains using randomly chosen records or tuples. The random choice ensures that the reduced training data set doesn't have any bias in the training. Therefore, by setting the max cells, you can keep your cost within your limits. And if you want to know more, I would recommend you to look at the Redshift, pricing page for details about your training cost. As I said, there is no additional charges for using machine learning in for Amazon Redshift.
Excellent. So I think that's great that we do optimization while doing the training as well by doing sampling, and the user doesn't have to know anything about it. So it's a great win-win situation for the customers as well in terms of price and performance, and they can just leverage machine learning capability into their existing data warehouse on Redshift. So thank you so much, Devu, for all your time joining here at AWS on Air and sharing insights about this new Redshift capability. And I'm very sure that our customers would equally, excited about it, and they are surely going to, put their hand dirty on by this preview service, and we will look forward for the GA in the upcoming days. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much, Suman, and thanks everyone who is watching this show.
Sure. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And I would strongly recommend you to go to the AWS new page to learn more about this particular capability and learn about this particular feature and register for the preview. So that's all for me for now. I'll see you in a few minutes, and I'm going to discuss something on the machine learning side, and it's going to be Amazon Lookout for equipments. So see you in the other side. Until then, take care and enjoy the reInvent. Bye-bye.